Discipline, dedication, years and years and years of training experience, and just an ability to want it more than the next person. I think the ability to say you're world champion, no one can take that away from you, and that is only going to show that you've essentially done more and worked harder than everyone else. Like, for example, I'm going to Malibu for 6 weeks to train. Yes, obviously sounds amazing, but that's a long time to be away from home, family, and the training out there is obviously, as you can imagine, pretty brutal. Right, welcome. London doubles. It is Thursday today, so I've just done a bike and row session this morning, like super easy, just move the body. Like, it's nice to move early morning. And then come to the gym. We're going to do a little bit of plyo work and then some station work. And then I haven't decided whether I'm going to drive down tonight or tomorrow. Going to go to the gym now and then hopefully capture some nice content of the race weekend for you. I was relaxed, I just wanted to enjoy it, and I just ran as hard as I possibly could. So that was an opportunity to showcase essentially what I had and who I was and how good I could be as an athlete. A nice race with Sean and Ronan, and I went into that with confidence and aggression, and another opportunity to, I guess, showcase and show off what I am capable of, and hopefully I can lean on those positive results and take them into another few solo races, most likely after Stockholm, and a big build until World Championships, where we can hopefully go and have one of those big key moments and become world champion. Sometimes you do question yourself when you are struggling and going through those hard training sessions, and there's a weird, like, you ask that question of like the why, like, why are you doing this? And sometimes, like, I can't even give you an answer. Like, it's just, I can obviously go down the route of and talk about sexuality and how I'm doing it for the gays or whatever else, but there's also this weird underlying thing of like, I don't really know why, but I just do it and I love it and I want it and I essentially need it. Like, I need it more than I want it. So yeah, I can't give an exact answer, but there's a weird ingrained thing of like, I want to be the best and I want essentially a title to tell me that I am. So yeah, I don't think I would do what I'm doing now and putting in the time and effort if I didn't want it as bad as I did. So right now it's pretty much everything, and it's all consuming and takes up a lot of your brain and focus, which, whether that's healthy or not, who knows. I feel pretty good. I was at the track on Tuesday, so we're now 10 weeks out from World Championships. I finished my session, had absolutely smashed it, 5 times 1K, off 200 jog, and because it's now summer, they put in the bumper plate around the inside of the lane, and I'd finished, I was saying goodbye to someone, stepped on it, and just completely rolled my ankle. I have an MRI booked in. It's either ligament or a clean break, so we're unsure, but I've woken up and my whole ankle, which I'll put on the screen, is just absolutely ginormous, hurts to touch. So we're unsure where we're at, what we're going to achieve. 10 weeks, I can't give an answer yet as to kind of whether I'm even going to be on the start line or not. So yeah, we have to wait and see, scan this week, and then we'll keep you updated and go from there. So we've had a update. For reference, this is what I woke up to on Wednesday morning. So I knew something bad had happened. Annoyingly, when it happened, it didn't actually hurt that much. So I was a bit like, okay, maybe I've just rolled it and like it happens all the time. But the noise that it made was pretty bad. So I've waited a week for the swelling to go down, and I've had a scan. So I've got some nice kind of updates of how the foot's going along. But unfortunately, the scan has come back, and we have a clean break of the 5th metatarsal. So if you can see here, this is my 5th metatarsal, and then I've got a clean break here. So the ligament here has actually pulled on this bone so hard that it's pulled the bone off the other bit of bone. So rather than like snapping, it's pulled it so hard. So we have surgery booked in for next week. For reference, again, that's kind of like a diagram of where my break is. So what the surgery is going to do is going to insert here, and then they're going to put a screw in, because what happens with this area is you can get what's called a non-union. So the bone heals, but it doesn't heal in the right place. So if you put a screw in place, it kind of guarantees that healing process. And they've said, this consultant and the sports doctor have both said that this is the quickest way back to recovery. So by the time I have surgery, it'll be 8 weeks out exactly from World Championships, and then I won't be able to walk for 9 days. So I have 9 days of foot elevated, which is going to absolutely suck. So every 50 minutes of the hour, I have to be foot up in the air. And then from about day 6, I can start doing like upper body stuff, but I can't weight bear at all on the foot. Mostly because it wants the wound and the area to just heal without any complications. So I've been told under strict orders that I said to the consultant surgeon, I was like, look, you can't give me any grey area, because I will push all the way to the extreme of what I can do. So he was like, look, Jack, you can't do anything. From then on, we just have to almost wait and see. So by the time I can get back into training, I will be 6.5 weeks out from World Championships.
Having been around the block a few times and been banged up myself and worked around injuries, and then also trained other people and worked in the world of sort of injury rehab, training with an injury doesn't necessarily mean not training. It doesn't mean moving completely away from the thing. And a lot of what I do is stimulus based anyway. So at the moment we're obviously not running, but we found a way that we can bike. We found a way that we can get on an assault bike or an echo bike. We can watt bike. We can get volume in without beating him up. So it's more of a, yeah, it's a curveball for sure when someone's saying, hey, worlds is on the table and realistically world records are up for grabs. Not running it's a hiccup, but it's not, right, that's it, sod it, forget it, all we are doing it, we'll just do something else, we'll move the focus to next year. So, well, no, worlds is definitely still on the table. Keeping him fit now and keeping him engaged in training is as much the game as anything.
One day out from the op, and to be honest, pretty apprehensive. Like, ideally I won't be having it, but I spoke to the consultant. I drove all the way down to Brighton on Monday and had a good chat, had an x-ray, and he said, look, the best way that you're going to be able to compete at Stockholm at Worlds is if you do this operation and you get this screw put in your foot, fix it in place, and then work the fuck out of it in terms of rehab, get access to the best equipment, best facilities. I'm hoping Puma can pull through, and then just kind of leave it up to the HYROX gods. So last session now, 7 days, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you have the big goals and you wanted to, still probably will, but when you had those big goals of going out to Malibu and working my fucking arse off and getting into the best shape possible like I did in Phoenix, it's hard. It's really hard to take, but when life gives you lemons, you make fucking lemonade. So I'm about to squeeze these fucking lemonades, and then whatever happens from there happens. Well, we've made it to hospital. Welcome to my room. MTV crib style. Got a nice big bed. Toilet, shower. Floods. Comfy recliner chair. And I think I'm going to be in this position for the next 10 hours until I have the operation. I got to go on to general, which is going to be fun. I don't know how much I can vlog or film or whatever, but I'll try and get some bits.
What, have you got a timeline?
No timeline. The nurses will come in a minute.
Okay.
My armpit smell.
Is it really nice? It's like a hotel room?
It's a little bit more like a psych ward, but
Right.
psych ward / hotel room vibe. But yeah, it is what it is.
Alright.
When the nurses come in, they'll give you information on timings and things, and then I'll
Okay, cool.
let you know the plan.
Alright then. Alright.
Alright.
Alright. Well, lots of love.
Thanks.
Let me know.
Alright then.
Okay. Alright.
Love
See you
you.
in a bit.
Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
What's up, gang? So, surgery done. Feeling a little bit worse for wear. My foot's killing me. 6 p.m. now, 6:30, so well, nearly 7. So I'm hoping, give it an hour, have some food, then I can discharge myself and get home. And then I've got 7 days to really kickstart the wound healing recovery process, and then hopefully we are back on track. Welcome to my humble abode. Cool. Right, let me try and get in. It actually smells quite nice in here. Look, nail varnish. What's up, team? Day 5 post-surgery, and we're starting to move again. We're getting a little bit more of a flow back. Pain level is 0 without weight bearing, and then I just want to be a little bit careful because I still have to go for post-op in 9th day, which is Friday, so it's Monday today. So I've got 4 more days essentially of bed rest, where I'm technically not supposed to be doing exercise, but I've had the all clear to do a little bit of upper body weight training just to kind of keep my head rather than anything else. I'm not gonna lie, it has been extremely difficult. Like, I know you can mentally prepare for how difficult these things are going to be, like when they happen and you have the conversations, but until you're in the moment, like, it's fucking tough. Okay, so we are day 11 post-surgery. I have just come out of my consultation with the surgeon and the sports doctor, and good news, I mean, not fantastic news, but good news, we have 2 days of
basically non-cardio, let the wound heal as much as possible. And then from Monday, we can start to implement all training back, obviously other than running. Working really, really hard to try and get into what's called a HYROX, which is basically an anti-gravity treadmill, but water. So you are underwater when you're running, which is a pre-stage to then the anti-gravity treadmill, and then you obviously reduce each time. So you start with the water basically at your shoulders, and then you go to your nipples, and then you hopefully go down to like belly button, and then once you get there, you then go on to the anti-gravity treadmill, and then you basically do the same with the level of gravity that you're basically the volume of your body weight essentially that you're able to put through, and then you build a tolerance to that. However, I'm allowed to full weight bear, so I can basically fully walk without the crutches, which is pretty cool. So anytime I leave the house I have to wear the boot, and then anytime around the house I can be barefoot, and then it's just a matter of building load and tolerance over time. So the biggest thing now is to be sensible. What I said to the surgeon and now the sports doctor is, you can't give me any grey, because if you give me any grey area then I'm going to push it to the absolute max. So I need clear instructions of what I can and can't do. New car day, baby! So, rehab. We are off to West Bromwich Albion. Let me turn this down for a minute. We're off to West Brom, and we are going into what's called a HYROX treadmill, which is an underwater treadmill, which basically it's the step before anti-gravity.
So rehab is something that probably every athlete has to do at some point. It always looks a little bit different depending on the injury. The good thing around HYROX is you can basically train so many different modalities that you almost just change it into like a strength block or a cardiovascular block or whatever you change it into depending on your injury. For me, mine looked a little bit different to what most people's probably has looked like. I had surgery 8 weeks prior to World Championships on a broken foot. However, it was possible, and I think that hope was something that I just kind of clung on to, and the knowledge that other people had done it. Like the biggest examples, Rooney, David Beckham had both had this injury, and you were like, well, if they can do it, then I can do it. So I went to like the absolute 10th degree. Was it 9th degree, 10th degree? Is that the right saying? Who knows? Around it, and well, I just went to the absolute limit of what I could do in terms of I had a hyperbaric chamber at my house. I had an altitude tent which I was sleeping in, which I slept in for 5 weeks. I had red light therapy, which is basically like red light blanket. I had a machine called Exogen ultrasound bone healing device, which I managed to get. I had the best surgeon in London do my surgery, and then I managed to get into West Brom Football Club, which was a task which I was trying to basically get into any football club which had the HYROX. And a massive thank you to Aaron, who took me under his wing and allowed me to go in there and use that treadmill. I was able to do that for 2 weeks, so I had 3 sessions a week where you basically run. Water starts at your shoulder, and then you slowly start to reduce the water level, and then that obviously increases the weight of your body going, so that weight bearing essentially. And that was probably the biggest thing in terms of being able to get back to running as quickly as I did. So I did that for 2 weeks, and then after that I got the all clear to then go on the anti-gravity treadmill.
For anyone that doesn't know, anti-gravity treadmills, basically you're tied up to this machine and then it fills up with air. And again, same thing, it's just that weight bearing load tolerance. So it completely, I think you can put it down to like 50% body weight. We started at 75%, and then over a week and a half period, probably 2 weeks, managed to get my running up to, I think I did sessions that were 3x8K, 4x8K, 3x12K, sessions like that where it was kind of getting the heart rate up and then really building some tolerance through the foot, but at like 70%, 75% body weight. And then over each session you would slowly increase the body weight. And then once I got to 85%, I was essentially given the all clear to run outside, and that was 4 weeks and 2 days prior to World Champs was when I first ran outside, and I did 3 times 600 meters, and it was the hardest 3 times 600 meters I've ever done in my life. And then once that was done with the all clear, I also had a game ready recovery boot, which is like a compression boot that also you put ice in and it kind of flows through, so it's cold and compression. And I was basically, anytime I did any form of load or tolerance through the foot, I put that on for an hour. So again, it was just a lot of sitting around doing not much, but that was the most proactive thing that you could possibly do. So then I went and did my first 5K park run. So we are 3 weeks and 5 days from World Championships, and it is Saturday. I've just completed my first outdoor run, which is a park run. Fitness wasn't too bad, I just have 0 leg speed, so I think it was like 17:05, which is, I said before today I'd be happy with 17 because I can work on it, but yeah, we've got some serious work to do over the next 3 weeks. Which was about 17 minutes with an RPE of around 12 out of 10. I genuinely thought I was going to pass out when I finished, which was a bit of a scare considering it was only 3 weeks out essentially, well, 4 weeks say, from World Championships, and knowing that I probably need to be in around 15-30 shape if I wanted to really compete and have a chance of winning. So I trusted my training and process. Luckily, I actually managed to unlock a lot of the stations quite early on in the process. So from 5 weeks, I was actually doing pretty much every station. Obviously, it was a really tough balance of introducing the running and introducing the stations at the same time as a form of load on the foot. So I had to be really, really careful, but we managed to do it really, really well. But the main thing for me, like the stations were relatively fine because I was able to continue doing them. I was doing assault bike intervals with simulations in between, so I was pretty confident that the stations were going to be fine. It was purely unlocking the running, which is usually my strong point, or a point in which I can just flow and then get to the stations and then be aggressive. So I basically used park run as my metric because I knew that I could just do it every Saturday. I then went and did the next one, which I was like, okay, I'm not going to go crazy and try and run as fast as I possibly can. I'm just going to try and run 16:30 and try and hit that target. And I ran out and I ran a 16:30 and my RPE was probably around a 7. So within a week, like my running had basically come back down to what it was almost before. So I was like, okay, if I can run a 16:30 and it can feel relatively comfortable with a lowish average heart rate and feel pretty good, then I'm in a good place. So that added a little bit of confidence. And then the final week before I flew out to Chamonix with Hunter, I was like, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to aim for 16 flat. Again, not try and do anything crazy, but just run out at a 16 flat pace, or sub 16 was the goal. And went round and ran 15:59, again with an RPE of around 7 or 8. So at that point I was like, okay, I feel confident enough here that I can go and I can put down a pretty good performance. The biggest thing that I was worried about was just
the amount that I had run. Like, I think I had a peak week of 40 kilometers before World Champs, and 90% of that was just like plodding around Chamonix with Hunter. So the actual training load and stimulus was really, really minor. But having said that, I've got however many years of training, and this year has been a big year in terms of training and fitness and where I'm actually at. In terms of the solo races, I'm not put it together yet, but in terms of the doubles races, I have and always will back myself as being one of the best in the world.
It never gets easier, and it's just relentless, like every day, twice a day. But you just know that all I keep saying through my head now is world champion, world champion, world champion. And I had a motto in Phoenix where it was relentless, savage, which got me through. And I think just saying world champion over and over again just makes it all kind of, like, I don't know if you can see throughout the session, but I sometimes just smile and kind of, I'm in so much pain, but I'll smile and I'll just say world champion in my head, and it will just get me through that next little bit. But yeah, I didn't think I would be doing this post-surgery, so like every cloud, to be honest, I feel like I'm going in the right direction. It's just adding in that running element. Like, I'm able to burpee fine, no pain, row fine, no pain, put decent wattage through the bike, no pain. So I'll be able to merge it all together and put down a performance that I can be proud of. And if that is world champion, then like, what a comeback. If it's not, then I know that I've done everything in my power to even just get on the start line.
The biggest thing for me was almost just getting to that start line, and I ticked that goal. So now it's go out there and win.
Jake Williamson, Hunter McIntyre, can they finally get the world record that they've been fighting for so long? And the lights are off and the race has begun for our men's doubles elite 15.
Well, we did it. We made it to World Championships. So as we all know by now, I broke my foot and I wasn't sure whether I'd even make it to the start line. So I'm very proud of where we got to and the position we were in and the fitness that I took into World Championships. The race itself, it wasn't perfect.
And Jake has actually just pulled out wide, kind of out of the fast lane. He's looking over his shoulder, wondering where Hunter actually is. He's at the very, very back of the pack.
I wasn't aware that Hunter was as far back as he was on the first lap until the fourth lap. And by that point, I'd already committed to that hard run. The game plan was to go hot and get to the skis in that first 3 positions.
He cannot start the workout until Hunter McIntyre is there. He's got to wait for him.
Hunter got blocked in a little bit, and I think also had some bowel issues at the very beginning of the race. So I wasn't aware, and it was on me that I should have been like, oh, he's not with me, so let's run together and then we go in together. Again, as people know, we're pretty powerful on the ski. I think we were holding 126, 127, which is pretty strong. Got out with the front pack again, so we clawed back that 10 seconds on Tim and Alex. Got to the push. Again, we were both in I was in complete flow state at that point, like feeling really good. Hunter went aggressive with the push, and then we put 10 seconds into them. So ideally what would have happened is we got to the ski first, came out 10 seconds up, and then got to the push, and then been 20 seconds up by the time we left the push, but instead we were 10 seconds up-ish. And then we got to the sled pull, they caught us up a little bit on the run, and then that's where the race for me kind of, I guess, started or finished. The sled pull got caught, and what you can't really see is just how heavy the pulls were for me. Like I was giving it everything, and it was hardly even moving. So I was basically doing isometric pulls across, and then the third one it physically wouldn't move. So we were like, do we come and get the rope, or are you going to take it off for us? Luckily someone took the rope off, but it meant that I think we left the sled pull at like 13 seconds down-ish, when ideally we would have been going out of the sled pool like 5-10 seconds ahead. And then at that point, when those boys are beating us on the runs anyway, and we're meant to catch them up on the stations, it becomes really, really hard to then chase them back on the run. And then I was super fatigued from the pool. So not excuses, and it's our own responsibility as we know to manage the rope and to have those things be perfect on the day. But I think if those things didn't happen, I think we would have been very, very, very close to winning that race. Yeah, I was feeling really good until that sled pull, and then I've not been to a place that dark before in a race. Like I was shaking on the lunges. Like I was like, I'm not going to finish this. Not for the fact that I'm going to drop out, but for the fact that I'm going to like drop. Like I was in a rough place. That final lap was something else, and then I got to the wall balls, and oh my God, I was like, Hunter, do not pass me that fucking ball, because I was like, I am not going to be able to do these.
Hunter McIntyre and Jake Williamson coming in with a roughly close to 20 wall ball deficit.
And he got to 60, and I remember I got to the wall ball, and I looked up, and then the judges, Faisal shouting the numbers and what people are on, and I was like, don't look anywhere else other than at the target. Because in Phoenix, as we know, like there was a few reps where I missed the target, and you get no reps, and that cost us a world record. And if I was to do that in this race, if I had a single no rep in the 40 that I did, Rich and Pelayo would have got ahead, because it was literally came down to the final wobble. So
desperately wanted it. After failing to defend it yesterday in the individuals, he takes the title here today. But look at that duel between Jake Williamson, Hunter McIntyre, Rich Ryan and Pelayo. It looks like if Jake Williamson keeps it clean, it might be them by a half a rep and a solid sprint. Here they go, absolutely risking it, Jake Williamson.
I literally, my eyes were on that target, and I was like, do not miss the target. And my feet were wobbling, and I was all over the place, but I managed to get 40 reps clean, and then we got home in second place. But annoyingly, I was so far in the pit, and I was hurting so much that I didn't really get to enjoy going over the finish line. I don't remember it. Like I don't remember. All I remember is finishing, sitting down, going and doing the interview. I don't remember what I said in the interview, and then throwing up in a bin, and then then the next thing I remember is just walking to drug testing. Like it was genuinely just like a haze. So yeah, I mean, I know that I worked hard by doing that. So I'm very happy with where I put myself in terms of getting to the start line. What I did during the race, the only thing I'm disappointed with was the execution and the overall outcome. But those two boys they're like perfection. Like they just don't put a single foot wrong the whole way through. So I have the utmost respect for both of them, and I think as people and athletes, they're just top tier. So I'm not allowed to run for a couple of weeks. I think hopefully next week I'll be able to introduce some like slow running, probably treadmill, just because it's softer, maybe some grass stuff. So it's very much just bike and conditioning, long sloggy workouts, try and get a little bit of a solo focus and try and get a few races in. I actually have been summoned for jury service. Yeah, so the jury service comes at very inconvenient timing, because I was meant to go out to Asia and do 3 races, potentially solos, but also potentially doubles as well, to try and get some points. So currently they changed the system. So for anyone that doesn't know, they changed the system. So you have to race with someone from your nationality. So I have to race with someone with an English passport. Well, it's Great Britain, isn't it? But they have to be English rather than Scottish or Welsh. So that leaves me with a few options. I thought I had a partner confirmed for next season. However, that did change. So we are on the hunt for the next doubles partner. But I'm excited for who it potentially is, and I think we'll have a very, very good chance of getting that title next season.